These are the top crypto stories of the day. It looks like more and more banks are in trouble, including a gigantic bank, and they're hiding these losses from you folks. It is hidden within their derivatives. It's hidden within their toxic securities. Not only that, we have the best reverse indicator for crypto. You know who I'm talking about. We matched the same haircut. Jim Cramer just came out talking about Bitcoin. We're also going to talk about that. And folks, Solana is up 14% right now. We're going to dive into the charts for that as well. It's time to discover crypto.
Capital flight is coming to the United States. The dollar is going to zero.
And that's what makes Bitcoin so special.
You have to have gone through a couple cycles to understand.
Once the price is able to clear this level, the breakout is on its way.
This is your indication to jump in now.
All right, folks, we got a lot of new names in the chat. We appreciate it. We got the smartest chat in the world, smartest chat in all of crypto. So let's make sure, we welcome all the newcomers, with open arms. We're not going to try to lock them out like some maxi, everybody. But speaking of maxi, the charts are just in maximum overdrive, everybody. We are still up. Looks like the crypto market is up 1.8%. Although even Bitcoin, though, is only up 0.6. So that means some alts are running, everybody. And DZ lied. He said 14%. It's 13.5, but I'm rounding up. But we do have ETH is up 0.4%. BNB looking pretty good. It is up 6% on the 24-hour, 9% on the 7-day. So we got a nice little 48% on the 30-day here. Solana, though, where are all the Solana holders? You're looking pretty good right now. Folks, we called it. We said there's going to watch out for a little bit of selling pressure. There's a little FTX sell wall that's going to hit. And sure enough, that sell wall hit. You see a nice little drip right there, a little drop right there. But 146 for Solana is looking great. It's just melting faces right now. We keep going down. XRP holders take a little bit of a victory lap. You just turned your red week. You were down, but now you're green. You're up 4.1% for the day right now. Cardano still up 2.5%. Doge and Shiba finally pulling back on some of these profits. Doge is down 3.3%. But Doge has doubled in the last 30 days. You can see 100% pump right there. Shiba Inu has done a 3.5x in the last 30 days. Wow. We've been holding that one. Man, I wish I would have bought more when that price was low. But now I think we look at some of the biggest winners. Where was Chainlink? We have a lot of Link Marines in the chat, so I want to look at Chainlink. Chainlink is up 2.7% as well. Polygon's looking good. We've been saying Polygon's going to be one of the better performers in March, and so we feel good looking at that. Akash Network. So these are the top gainers for the day. These are the top gaining cryptocurrencies and the top 100 by market cap. So we're going to look at some of these, and then we're going to look at the biggest losers. You're going to want to stick around for that. Make sure your coins aren't on that list. And I heard there's a surefire way to make sure your coins aren't on that list. It's called hitting the like button, everybody.
That's right.
So go ahead, smash that. Hit it with an elbow. Hit it with the Hulk Hogan leg drop, if you will. Whatever you want to do. Or just be a normie. Just click it with your finger, folks. It don't cost you nothing. Akash is up 27.7%. Ribbon Finance is up 20%. Phantom up 20%. A lot of coins are up 20%. Josh, though, number 4, it's one you tried to put on my radar. It's one Nick Demondi tried to put on my radar. I felt it was overheated. Render is still just doing phenomenal. It's doubled in the last month. What's your thoughts on Render?
Yeah, this is the NVIDIA of crypto. That is the room. That's why it's leading kind of the entire AI sector. It's, definitely the top dog for DeepIn and AI, and it's because of the involvement it's had with NVIDIA for the last decade at this point. We've dropped multiple videos on it at this point. In terms of price discovery, where's Render going? We have no idea. It's an unknown territory. We're approaching the GTC summit, which we'll talk about later a little bit in this video, but we dropped a whole in-depth deep dive video last night on there is a sector, though, that is going to follow suit with that over the coming weeks. So I think you only have a few weeks left to be able to take advantage of the opportunity that is going to be in DeepIn and AI, because the GTC summit, guys, is the largest summit out of all summits and is the most hyped up tech summit that will take place in 2024. Because guess who's been crushing Wall Street's expectations? None other than NVIDIA. So I kind of just look at this as it can get more bullish as we'll get to the tweets and stuff that we've heard about.
What are the two big stories just smashing Wall Street's expectations? NVIDIA and Bitcoin ETFs, and then Render In a layman's type of way, that is almost like a combination of those two bullish narratives, everybody. We do have a lot of newer viewers in the chat. So if you didn't see the episode last week where we talk about DPIN, what the heck is DPIN? This is the DZ patented breakdown. It is compute, storage, communications. I've heard no one else say it. This is just the easiest way I use it in my mind. I think of DPIN, decentralized physical infrastructure network. I feel like a nerd just having that phrase come out of my mouth. So I just think of storage, compute, communications. And so when AI is doing great, we got an NVIDIA conference about to happen. NVIDIA's doing great. Render's doing great. AI does great. AI needs infrastructure. And DPIN is the infrastructure of AI. Again, compute, storage are going to be the main components, but then also communications. All right, now also in the top 5 here, that was number 4. Number 5 is the graph. Shout out to all the TI-83 pluses in the chat. We love our graphing calculators. Other than that, we have Singularity. Singularity is now above $1. Singularity is above $1, folks. I remember people saying, oh, man, you know this thing's going to $1. I remember looking at some of these charts, and folks, I'll admit, I thought there was going to be more selling pressure on this little bit of a dubious trend line right there. But look at that. I mean, you can just kind of imagine where the trend line would be at. It teleported past that. And I'll admit it, I thought there'd be a little bit more of a struggle to surpass previous all-time highs.
Yeah, something really cool about Ajax too is in the interview I just had with the founder in Panama, I asked him if he believes that AI and DPIN has topped and
Wait a
what
minute.
that price prediction
Hold on.
is.
You interviewed the Singularity CEO when?
I
A
think
year ago?
so.
2 years
he
ago?
might have been AI. There's a small chance he was already a humanoid robot. But no, Ben Gertzel's really awesome interview. I learned so much down there. And if you guys want the interview, we have hours and hours and hours of footage if we have to cut down. But if you guys spam 1 in the chat right now, guys, smash that like button and put 1 in the chat if you want to see it. We will get it out to you Sunday. I can't promise it, but if we get enough reactions in the comments, I will put that out as soon as possible on Sunday or Monday. It will be out for you guys. So if you guys want that out sooner, make sure you let us know. But yeah, it's going to be a really good interview. I talk about essentially this is one of the top projects in the sector.
Yeah.
And so I straight up ask him, is it topping? Should I buy in? What's this look like over the next 3 to 4 months with everything that's going on within NVIDIA? And his answers just blew my mind. So.
Yeah, AI has been doing really, really phenomenal things lately. And I don't know if you guys saw it. They just had an AI. Claude just beat the human IQ test, beat the score of 100. It is the first one to do it from at least, from the respected organizations. I think there's like a couple startups like, oh, we did it. But then you dig into it a little bit, maybe a little bit of a dubious claim. Claude, though, is just doing some incredible things. And we're going to use Claude to identify a bank crisis. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. There's a hidden crisis looming. And I said in the beginning of the show, they're trying to hide it from you. It's echoing 2008 financial crisis. We'll talk about that. A lot of people, you folks know, again, we have one of the smartest chats. People who saw, not Dumb Money, Big Short. People who saw Big Short, you kind of know where we're going to be heading with that. They're hiding toxic debt. But speaking of hiding, I think we're hiding the biggest losers. I do want to shout out Near Protocol, also doing great in Thor Chain. So, two coins.
The biggest losers. Shout out to Near Protocol.
But now the biggest losers,
they're
though.
Crushing it, dude.
Man, oh man, it's the meme coins. But you know what? They're the biggest winners of the month. So are you really worried if you're down 13%, if you're up on almost a 10x in the past month right there? So Dog with
Makes
Hat
me
is
incredibly bullish. Yeah.
What on meme coins,
I'll
on
let you go through
crypto,
the meme
on
coins, and I'll show
dogs,
you why
on
in just a
hats?
second. Yeah.
Bullish on what exactly?
The fact that
Knitted
meme coins are
caps?
dumping because this is just the cycle of money in a bull run. You get, if you look at the screen here, the money flow chart, he's going to go through all of these meme coins with you guys. But what you traditionally get, guys, is fiat pours into Bitcoin and you get these massive gains. And we've seen the largest candlesticks ever on Bitcoin, which we'll get to in TA down in this episode. From Bitcoin, that money flows into large caps. You then see all those start to pump. That's your Ethereum, Solanas, etc. Then do your mid caps and your small caps. Meme coins are always the last to pump. And then that money always flows back into Bitcoin. That's where you get a sell-off. And so if this plays historical models, this does mean we might see Bitcoin break out very, very soon to way past all-time highs.
Yeah, and I will add a little bit to that. I would say 2021, that is largely the narrative. The meme coins are going to roll into Bitcoin. I think there's a lot of degens out today, though. They rolled these Solana profits into Solana, and they just hodl it there. And I think the same thing has maybe happened with Ethereum, whereas in the past, the big meme volume really came from Robinhood. And a lot of people, you see some Robinhood profits on your Dogecoin. You really got two options on Robinhood. if you're a normal, if you want to keep your profits, you could always put it into ETH Classic because it hasn't pumped yet. But most people are just going to put it into fiat or Bitcoin. I think it might be a little bit different this time. More people self-custody, more people use indexes. Morgan Powell, you guys become my favorite show to watch. Thank you. Well, thank you. Already getting 3 thumbs up. Now it's 4. Morgan Powell, appreciate the $2 super chat right there. All right, so now for the biggest losers past the meme coins, though. Meme coin number 1, meme coin, meme coin, meme coin. Bonk is down, Pepe's down, Shiba's down. Then we have Leo token and Uniswap and Starknet, followed by more meme coins. We have Floki, then Doge. So most of these, though, you're just going to see healthy pullbacks. You can see Leo token had a pretty good week. Uniswap has just had a really, really good 45 days or so. So Uniswap also, seeing some heavy profit taken happening, probably with the whales. And not only that, funny story about Uniswap, universities have a lot of Uniswap. I think Harvard has a lot of Uniswap. I would not be surprised if I was Harvard endowment. I'm the crypto guy, right? I'm running Harvard's endowment. I might be trying to put some Uniswap into some Bitcoin right now. I don't think that'd be the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, you definitely have Sanford too, just allocating like 7% now. I don't know if it was just Bitcoin. I'm pretty sure it was just Bitcoin. But if they're starting to dabble that much in Bitcoin, do you think they're going to put 1%, 2% to other cryptos? Makes you have to wonder. It's not like it was a small position they decided to take. But speaking of down, who's down right now in their portfolio?
Who is down on their portfolio? I will tell you, Jim Cramer. He's just down. He's down and out. He's just down. He's in disbelief. He's I think. Hold on. I'm getting a call right now. This is from a CNBC producer. Hey, what's going on? Oh, you got eyes on Jim Cramer right now. He's in the fetal position. Oh man, he's crying. He's rocking. Is he flopping and groping? Oh wow, that's funny. He shouldn't have shorted Bitcoin. He shouldn't have fudded at least. Jim Cramer says Bitcoin has topped out after the latest hot streak above 69K. This is the best reverse indicator. I don't know how he's so spookily inaccurate, but we're getting a really, really good anti-correlation with his post here. So he's shared his outlook following the roller coaster ride of Bitcoin. We saw it crash below 60 after hitting 69, about a 15%, very, very quick drop. He claimed that many signs suggest it has topped. He then shared a photo of a tiny dog wrapped in a cloth and captioned that dog, called Pip, bought Bitcoin at 69.2. We got to share the post, of course. We got to see the dog. No Mrs. Peaches, that's for sure. No Miss
Peaches.
Yeah, there's no Tide in Athena. That's my dogs. Hi, my name is Pip, and I bought Bitcoin today, and I'm counting on Michael Saylor to stop me out. Oh, you will learn. You will learn. In fact, let's just go to this clip. I'm going to go ahead and make sure we refresh the audio here just to make sure we have it. This is Jim Cramer. He has said that there are many signs Bitcoin has topped. This analyst said, we're going to infinity. I swear to God, I didn't know who the post came from. From not Jim Cramer. Do not buy Cramer. Oh God. What if there was a Cramer coin and it just did the opposite? No, I'm saying, what if this Cramer coin just did the opposite in the form of leverage trades? So if he comes out and says Bitcoin's great, it just shorts the market. And if he says, yeah, that'd be a Cramer coin I would maybe get behind. All right, here we have Jim Cramer. This is only 20 seconds.
But you have very smart people like Michael Saylor, the CEO of MicroStrategy, selling $600 million in convertible bonds to buy one Bitcoin. Hey, look, that could prop it up. I don't know. I always find it curious, though, when someone announces their intention to buy something without the slightest degree of caginess. It's kind of like he wants to walk it up or something. Now, against all of these signs of a top, what do we have aside from the rotation?
He is saying the top is in. We're going to crash. So I've never really felt more bullish after Cramer's bearish.
We got 3 more months of upside now. Thank you, Jim Cramer.
Yeah. You just gave us another mini bull run. Meanwhile, the long-term hater and gold bug, Peter Schiff, he's having a field day after Bitcoin tumbled from 69K. He criticized the dramatic intraday dip of almost 10K. But then, after that, he was shilling. Peter Schiff has been shilling Bitcoin ordinals. So he spends his life grifting, fudding Bitcoin, and then he goes from grifting on Bitcoin. I'd have to look for a bit, but yeah, he's here we go.
There you go.
March 6th. This is yesterday. One thing you could do with your Bitcoin is buy one of 6 golden Triumph ordinals currently offered for sale. So yeah, he's decrees how bad Bitcoin is, but now he's like saying Bitcoin NFTs are good. Make it make sense, Peter. Did his son hack his account? What's happening here? What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm reading through like bank collapsing articles right now. So, my head's all over the place. But You have to read it one more time here.
I mean, he's fudding Bitcoin while shilling Bitcoin ordinals.
Yeah. Sorry.
Does that make any sense?
I'm right now going through Watcher Guru trying to like get confirmation because there was like something that was just released.
We have a maybe patented breaking segment.
But you know, it's very like there's a 1% chance it's actually real and not just complete clickbait. So I'm trying to make sure we get before I share it on here.
Let's change the thumbnail. Let's change the title, and let's just assume it's true.
Wannabe Guru is the name that needs to shift to. But either way, okay, what Peter Schiff is doing, guys, he's obviously a failure of an analyst. He was completely wrong about Bitcoin over and over and over and over again. He was wrong about there going to be a next great financial reset since 2008 over and over and over and over and over again. And the only reason he talks about Bitcoin is because for the first time in his life, people actually look at what he's about to say. They want to go look on his Twitter. They want to like engage with him, and it's engagement farming. This is why he gets ratioed on almost every single post. But his book sales are up. So shout out to Peter Schiff for making money off the people that don't know what's happened.
Yeah, making a lot of money off that. Oh man, I didn't charge my coffee. Now I gotta have like lukewarm, like
Charge
a normie. Yeah, man, I got that heated electronic cup,
that's
man.
That's a bull market vibes.
Yeah. So, just a good fiance. I did say we have one of the smartest chats. We have one of the funniest chats as well. What is going on with his voice? Talking about talking about Jim Cramer. Truck Dano. Sounds like Jar Jar Binks. Misa no like Bitcoin. Yeah, very, very close to a Jar Jar Binks there. All right, now let's talk about the banks. Okay, the banks aren't looking great. And then after that, we're going to go back into the charts and maybe tell you some good entry and exit points, folks. So stick around for that. But troubled New York bank receiving $1 billion in liquidity injection in a push to save an ailing lender. Before we get into the story, Josh, what happened when SI Bank collapsed, SVB Bank collapsed? We had a string of bank collapses.
Silicon Valley Bank, Silvergate,
what happened to crypto when that happened about a year ago?
Yeah, so it took an immediate hit, but that was followed by the biggest buying pressure that we had seen all bear markets. So even though the bank started collapsing, that is going to increase panic at any given day, guys. The dip was bought within hours and days and ultimately led to upside pressure, buying pressure on Bitcoin. So it ended up being a very bullish event. And I think you're going to kind of continuously start to see that shift, that narrative shift, where all these traditional finance people, guys, the people that tell you Bitcoin's going to fail because banks are going to, like, it makes no sense. Bitcoin was created to solve the issue of the banks. It is a solution to fractional banking. That is the direct reason why Satoshi developed.
Let's pause for a second. Fractional banking is, say your customers have $100 in deposits. You used to need to have $10, then $1, and then after a while, they really rolled it to zero.
Yeah, they have to, you give the bank $10,000, they can go just do whatever they want with that, and they don't have to have any money.
Yeah, and then you wonder, hey, I need to withdraw that $10,000 in cash. Whoa, yeah, you're gonna have to give us 2 weeks notice on that. It's my money. Give me my money. What are you talking about?
So that's also known as the double spending problem, right? So directly, Satoshi's talked about this numerous times. And so if banks were to fail, which I don't think is going to happen, we're going to get to in just a second, but if there is a lot of FUD and banks do collapse, regional banks, guys, are collapsing at rate. This is not new, right? We used to have like 14,000 in the 1970s. We're down to like under 4,000. And you're going to continue to see that consolidate more and more between your JP Morgans and your big four. They're going to just keep absorbing. That is predatory capitalism at its finest, right? So Bitcoin, though, does tend to do a certain thing when banks collapse. And I believe you have a few charts to show us with that.
Yeah, and well, first I'm going to read the story because there's some dark wrinkles within the story. Chad is wondering, what is the cup? Next mug. My fiance did a lot of research. She said this is the best cup that doesn't require you to log into your Wi-Fi. Yeah, I don't want my fridge connected to my home internet. I really don't want my coffee mug to need an app. Seems a little ridiculous. Oh, in your app, you can make your coffee warm up at 8:07 a.m. No, I'm good. I'm good. Take it out of the Internet of Things here. All right, but back to the bank here. The community bank is New York Community Bank, and the infusion was led by a former Fed. I know Drew loves that fact. So this bank needed money. They needed an injection of $1 billion. And then who happened to step up but a former Fed, Steve Mnuchin's, I think I'm saying his last name right. I've heard it a couple different ways. His Liberty Strategic Capital, as well as Hudson Bay and Reverence Capital right there. They were they came in and they filled in their little stopgap there. He says he believes the investment will stabilize this $113 billion bank, which revealed a loss of $2.4 billion to the public last week. With over $1 billion capital invested in this bank, we believe we now have sufficient capital should reserves need to be increased in the future to be consistent with or above the coverage ratio with NYCB's large bank peers. NYCB is struggling with its exposure to commercial real estate amid the sustained rate hikes from the Fed, also feeling the weight of several acquisitions, including Domino, big portion of Signature Bank, which collapsed last year. That was the SI Bank that I was talking about. The bank fired, replaced its CEO last week, and then did it again today. I would say that's not a great sign, right? You fired and replaced the CEO. 7 days later, you do it again. Some would say chinks are forming. Some cracks, some fissures are starting to form on this sinking ship here. But hey, we're delighted that the former comptroller Otting would be our new CEO. So now we have another Fed. All right, so we got a state level Fed, it looks like here. So now a state level Fed is the new CEO, and we believe the actions taken by NYCB establish a strong foundation for future growth. This stock has cratered, dropping about 50% in January and February, 25% last week, 26% on Monday, and as much as 47% today. We're seeing some very, very bad stuff with the banks, everybody, but that's not all, folks. A bigger bank. I know that's all right, 113 billion. Now we're talking about Morgan Stanley. And I don't want to go too much in the weeds here, but part of the 08 financial crisis, they wrapped up toxic securities, toxic mortgages with good mortgages. And then they shuffled it, and then they gave 10,000 mortgages as an investment to the Pennsylvania Plumbers Association and different banks, and all these people invested in these mortgages. Oh yeah, the 10,000 people are going to pay their mortgage on time, not knowing 4,000 of the 10,000 were just toxic mortgages, $700,000 homes being sold to people who make $70,000 a year. This was the normal of 07, 06, 07, and then it led to a huge financial crisis. That financial crisis spawned Bitcoin. So now we're seeing repeats of that financial crisis, and they're doing it by, once again, taking some bad investments, shuffling it with some good investments, and then trying to hide it in their financial reports. But now AI is actually helping us identify the fraud, identify the schemes, and identify wait a minute, you're shuffling some cards with Dookie on them. All right, that Joker has Dookie on it. There's literally turds on this, and then all of a sudden I'm playing poker and I got crap all over my hands, and I bust because there's bad investments that they're shuffling in with the good ones. So Morgan Stanley, big balance sheet losses hidden behind exotic derivatives curtains again, echoing 08. I'm just going to kind of skim through this. So they basically released the big financial report. They got to do it once every 3 months. They got to do it quarterly. And people are looking at the cash flow statements. And basically the nerds did a lot of digging here. And then the nerds looked at all these papers. They looked at all the forms. They busted out their Excel sheets. And let's see here. Balaji kind of summed it up with the help of AI. So big balance sheet losses are being hidden behind exotic derivatives curtains here. All right, Balaji had a post, and again, I'm just going to kind of ask quickly. So he asked Claude, the newest AI on the block. This is the new kid on the block, the finance god. Is Morgan in the red? Here's what it said. Again, I'm just going to kind of skim this here. Several key observations. Significant amount of assets pledged as collateral. So, hey, this is what I'll pay to pay a debt. It's guaranteeing a debt right here, including 162 billion assets at fair value, and then 120 in securities. Having such a large number in collateral could potential limit liquidity. So they have a lot in collateral compared to what they're worth. It's like you're worth $100 and you basically just gave up everything as collateral. Well, you could just end up homeless. Why? Because you just gave up everything as collateral and you don't have that many assets to back it up. Or if I call on your loan, you don't have the cash to pay it. So I'm taking your equity here. All right, Morgan Stanley, highly leveraged. Total assets of over $1 trillion, but only 100 billion in equity. Look at that one more time. 1.2 trillion in assets, but only 100 billion in equity. That is only 8%. Oh, wow, it says right there, 8.3%. Sorry, I was doing back in the napkin math. Company, large exposure to lending activities and securities. Derivatives exposure is very high. And then within these cash flow statements, we're looking at some cash flow deficit. So we're seeing deficit in the tens of billions of dollars. Folks, I'm just letting you know, you're hearing it here first. This is breaking from Balaji here. This is hours ago. Very, very disastrous things looming in the horizon. Can they weather the storm? Oh, it's certainly possible. But is there another collapse happening right now before our eyes? That also is very possible. We have a super chat. How high can Crow get in 2024? Crow's crypto.com's token. Crow had a big burn in 2021, kind of helped their token a whole lot. That's weird. How come Crow doesn't pop up right there? That's weird. Let me try one more time.
Chronos now.
Well, yeah, it should still
Chronos,
pop up, though. That was just weird. All right, so we hit max here, then we hit market cap. Okay. I certainly think it's going to pass previous all-time high.
For crypto.com?
Yeah, for Crow.
So
that was a 20 billion.
What I like to look at for exchange tokens is the fact that they're going to move completely based off of retail volume, guys. Like Kronos' chain is kind of mid. There's really nothing being done over there. You never really hear about Kronos. Like when you hear Crow, it's crypto.com, right? So do they have development on the side? Yes, but the majority of their value is going to come from the retail transactions developing on their network. Same thing with like Coinbase stocks. And of course, as more retailers enter the market, that is going to prop up. So Crow, it's really... I think it can go back into price discovery because if you think about it, because if we do get the sense of FOMO, like if, let's say, because we're going to talk about these banks just a little bit more because there's a few things I want to touch on, but if we get to the category of what we did in 2021 with the amount of retail hype and everybody starts FOMOing it, it's no longer just optimistic. Right now, actually, I have a perfect photo for this. If you pull up psychology of the markets, right now, I believe we are in the media attention phase, okay? We are at this point where we had a bear trap. We had a little bit of a sell-off. I would argue that was from 50,000 to 38K. That was the last trapping. You saw a lot of the same influencers that were on the sidelines the entire bear market say, oh, we're going to go to 30K. We're going to go to 28K before I buy back in. They got wrecked. They got stuck. You got Dave Portnoy. You got, Jim Cramer, all these people selling out, losing their money. Now we're at this point where we're about to hit all-time highs. The media has our attention. It's being talked about every single day. I do believe we're about to mold over into that enthusiasm. So once Bitcoin breaks past 70K, it's no longer, are we maybe in this bear market? Is it going to be a triple top? It's going to go straight to belief, straight to optimism, and everybody FOMOing into this market. And that's where you have, this is why I'm really prepared. I am prepared for myself to risk adjust my portfolio towards the Bitcoin halving. Because we're saying, let's say Bitcoin breaks out this week. That means we have 30 days of upside potentially towards that Bitcoin halving as everybody's optimistic. They have this massive belief. It's unknown territory. And so I'd pay attention to Crow or crypto.com and Coinbase on the App Store. And what you'll see is they'll start becoming the top free apps on that App Store. And that's usually a good indication on how much more room it has to pump. So that's what I would do with
also
Crow.
Look at Crypto Crow?
Crypto Crow.
Yeah, the 7-foot.
Oh, I mean,
Cardano
you don't miss
guy.
him. Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to Crypto Crow. We love Crypto Crow. Yeah. He's Drew, you ever met Crow?
Yeah, actually, no.
He's 7 feet tall.
I saw him because I was watching that fight, and I saw him sitting next to Crypto Keeper, which I love Keeper. Great guys. They have a great show as well. It's a Crypto Crusader.
Yeah, too bad Keeper got injured.
Dude, like when I saw Keeper stand next to him, I was like, oh my gosh, he actually
he's
is
legit 7 feet tall. My quick Crypto Crow story, it was Bitcoin Miami 2021. We're going to one of the hot clubs or whatever, and there's a VIP section we were walking to. We had the VIP section next to Crow. I thought he was standing on the table. You know, like a lot of times there's like a little ottoman thing for all the drinks and everything. And I literally thought, oh, that guy's like standing on a couch. No, he was just that tall. He's just that tall. He was heads and shoulders above everybody else. All right. Did you want to get into the bank story?
After I call out Hannah for, I guess we're going to fight in the next influencer fight club. So she's trying to fight out there? Back there? Yeah, nice. No, but yeah, going back to the banks here, guys, we have, of course, the BTFP. So if you guys don't know what this is, I have to talk about this really quick because this is the conversation around what's going to, like, why people think things are going to collapse.
Buy the frickin' pump?
Where's my March? I have March somewhere. I got to pull up let me pull up one more thing real quick.
All right, he's going to pull that up. I'm going to read a couple chat. Did Crow ever fight?
Backwards?
Yeah, he threw out like a couple punches. That's all was needed. Crypto Face said it best. He's a very smart guy. The safest banks in the world are the ones they would bail out. SVB, many more. Everything is just fine. Yeah, if it was a bad investment, they wouldn't bail it out. My only, I don't want to say disagreement, my only thing I would say it's worth considering, are there points in time where maybe the federal government is insisting on a bailout when it could maybe not be a good investment? But like, hey, it's important for America, so, just go ahead and make this bad investment, big banker that is in our pocket. I don't know if that's true. It sounds a little tinfoily to me, but could be something worth considering.
I found it. So, guys, what we got here, why the banks are going to collapse. That is the conversation that people like to stir. Now, the first thing I want to point out is the analysts that have been saying the banks are going to collapse have been saying it for 2 years, and they missed out on an entire bull rally. And now a lot of them are into this belief. They said not to buy NVIDIA. They said not to touch tech stocks. They said all these things in 2021, and then they all went on to do all-time highs in the next 2 years. So what happened during COVID, essentially, guys, was the Federal Reserve board announced ending of, they launched this. I need to go to it first. What is the BTFP? Everybody in chat needs to know what this is. BTFP's, guys, closure is likely to increase banks' borrowing costs, meaning their profits margins will fall. They might react with higher lending rates. I thought that was a highlighter. I just crossed everything out. They might react with higher lending rates or by making less credit available to customers, potentially weakening the economy. This is what people are worried about. They're worried that with all the leverage risks that these banks have been taking on, it's not from your traditional, it's not your single family homes. It's actually going to be pretty much tied to a lot of commercial real estate. They're worried that this program, the Federal Reserve embedded a few years ago, when it ends, is going to destroy these banking institutions. So on January 24, 2024, this was just about a month ago, the Federal Reserve Board announced offsite the bank term funding program that they've been funding these banks to keep them alive will cease making new loans as scheduled on March 11th of 2024. So you have 5 days, guys, potentially before these banks collapse. Now, of course, is that going to happen? Well, another beautiful article or Twitter. I love Twitter. Twitter is just funny and real as heck. MB posted out here today. This is like thinking about banks in 2020. Hey, Mr. Feds, Mr. Jerome Powell, if we report our actual, balance sheet, this is going to wreck the economy. The economy is going to collapse. And the Feds go, you know what, DZ and Mr. Bank, I got you. You got one more year. We're going to just say, you don't have to worry about your debts. We got you back.
That's fine, Morgan Stanley. Go ahead and hide these toxic assets within your balance sheet. And you know what? We're not going to press too hard on it.
But do you promise that you're going to fix that?
Yeah, it's just kicking the can down the road, but we'll pick the can up later. 1 year later, I assure you.
1 year later, you've been kicking down the can and you still haven't fixed it.
Well, I got to kick it again, but next time.
Well, I got you again then. I got you again. So we'll postpone you another 2 years.
I will probably have to kick it then too, but the time after that, it's certainly possible that I might not have to.
So are you saying we should just make this funding program permanent?
You know what? Let's do you one more. Let's just roll back where banks need $0. You know what?
Well, let's just do all of the above. And that's exactly, guys, what the banks are asking. So if you guys didn't get that little skit, this can get pushed down the road further and further and further. And what I would really pay attention to, you don't need the technicals, is really going to be where the market sees Fed interest rates going. Because Fed interest rate cuts, guys, the Feds are going to cut interest rates when something breaks. Every time historically, 2000, 2008, even in 2020, when the banks and all these institutions start having issues and all their big white collar friends start panicking because they're going to go under, they're going to collapse, that's when the Feds change interest rates. It's not when middle class families are struggling, can't afford their bills. It's not when you're taking a third job just to pay for your Uber Eats. It's not or your Uber Eats is to pay for your schooling, whatever it is. It's when their bank and their white collar friends. I think you're getting a call.
Hey, Elizabeth, why the hell do I pay you $200,000 for a 30-minute speech if you're not going to vote our way? Could be a potential phone call. So what Elizabeth am I talking about? I don't know.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly what's going on. So you have people like Ann Vandersteel coming out on Twitter saying when Bank of America, BofA News, tells you the dollar is going to collapse, you better listen. So inciting fear, inciting panic. 500,000 people have seen this and are like, holy smokes, BRICS, Bank of America issues warning of U.S. dollar collapse. Well, as it turns out, this article's from none other than Whale Liar, watcher guru here. And I tried looking through this, and I'm sorry, there is nothing in this that has sources.
He will run with a tweet.
He just runs with it. And
he runs with a breaking story.
Backing. There's worries, but
sometimes he's breaking genuine stories. Sometimes it's
that's why I
do a
follow
little
him.
digging. He was pretty good with the FTX stuff.
But with this, he couldn't be further from the truth. So what I would say, guys, is the CMU Fed Watch tool. If you don't know what this is, you want to watch what the markets are kind of expecting out of the Feds. When are they going to pivot? Right now, it's expected to be June is when you're starting to get probabilities adjusting, saying they might do it in June. I'm someone that believes it's going to be the latter half of this year. But my point is, guys, I think they can continue to kick this can down the road. And even if a bank collapses tomorrow, it's going to get bailed out. And we would see the same scenario as, let's say this happens on the 11th of Silicon Valley Bank. I don't think we're at that point yet where these are going to collapse. I think we all know it's inevitable. But historically, guys, what does the government do? They always print more money.
It's you got two choices: tax your citizens, print more money. Well, one thing certainly isn't popular, and one thing you can just kind of do in the background behind a closed door. So they're always going to print money. Let's see, DZ Josh, are you going to take profits before the halving? If when? So here's my profit taking strategy. If I have a coin and it's just doing insane, I'm gonna maybe take some profits to put in a different coin. I haven't really been tethering up too much. occasionally with meme coins and occasionally with a little bit of spot trading. We did pretty good with some Solana spot trading. We were pretty transparent about that. But then I failed on my latest SHIB attempted at spot trading. We had a huge SHIB pump. I was like, I'll put 20% into USDC and then maybe buy more. I'll probably never put that 20% back into SHIB. It's because it just keeps running. So now I'm like leaning towards like, yeah, I don't know if I'm a tether up anytime soon. Lane had back surgery. I'm just showing you now. Hope you probably already discussed this. Well, hoping her back surgery goes well. It's very, very serious. Anyone could ever DM me if you ever have back issues. I can help you out. DM me. I always read all my DMs. If you have not, you make a comment on SEC versus Ripple. I don't know if there's breaking news, but when there's positive
we're about
news,
to get to Alton. Let's jump into guys. By the way, there's 1,200 people watching. Let's close that gap on likes, guys. We're already up at 300. Let's hit that 500 like level here today. If we get to 500 likes, I'm going to share with you guys a gem because obviously I did talk about it a little bit in last night's video. I didn't go in too depth on it, but there is some alpha we can give you guys on a major event that is taking place in March that could pump these altcoins one more time. So I will give that to you guys here at 500 likes. Make sure you smash that like button. And before we get into TA, I think
you know what? I'll front run the video too. I'm working on a video. I'm looking at 2020 when Bitcoin broke the previous all-time high, 20K. These 3 altcoins did something that no one is prepared for. I'll share the coins, everybody. So yeah, make sure you go ahead and hit that like button. Do we want to get into the charts or just straight to the
I'm pulling them up right now.
Okay, he's pulling them up.
Yep.
All right. Well, I'll pull up. I'm looking at this real quick. Looking at some Bitcoin charts right now. This is the 25-minute chart. You can see very, very strong dip. And folks, I went back trying to find a dip that is similar to that in the markets, and I really haven't found any crazy wicks like this. So we are kind of in a little bit of uncharted territories. Every time we've had a strong dip, it was a consolidation phase. We have another strong dip, consolidation phase, strong dip, off and to the right, strong dip, immediate absorption right there. So I will say this, on the daily, the markets are behaving more bullishly. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to try to tell you, entry point, exit point, but Josh is going to go a little bit deeper. I don't know if he's quite ready. I can look at one more coin here. All right, I do want to look at Cardano because Cardano had a pretty strong pullback as well. Look at that wick right there. Look at that red wick. Very, very strong correction. But then, similar to what we just saw, very, very quick just absorption of that. Folks, this is just 2 daily candles. Oh my God. If you cut the peak right there and then you cut the wick down, that is a 28%. Drew, did you realize Cardano fell that much and then was just bounced right back up?
I sure did. I watched it all go down. I got some good entry points, picked up some more render, some TIA token.
Okay, how is Tia doing? All right, let's look at Celestia real quick, and then we're going to pass it off over to Josh. Celestia is one of the coins I'm looking at to potentially basically scoop up while it's a little bit cheap. We do have a Lux Algo indicator I want to throw up, so we're going to go ahead and stretch this out. And all right, so this is going to be a little bit of dubious TA real quick. We're looking, this is the daily chart on TIA, and I think I'm seeing a little bit of bullish divergence. So right now, you can see a green dot right here. And if you go up, this is where the price was at. You see another green dot right here, and you go up, the price is lower than this green dot. It was higher right there. But if you go to the RSI, it is flat. So they call this hidden bullish. If it was a bullish indicator, it would be higher, but because it's flat, it's hidden. I will say this, T is looking pretty strong on the daily. And if you look here, on the 4 hours, starting to get the money flow back into the green here. So I'm kind of talking myself into a TIA buy tomorrow, Drew. Maybe things are turning around a little bit too quickly. I might just front run it and do it today. Yeah. I think I'm going to buy some TIA today.
I need to look at yesterday's video. It looks like Bob from accounting gave me some band names. So, my head, I want to play Bitcoin Nashville. I want to play a show at Bitcoin.
Okay, so you want to do like a Creed higher, but like weird. I think you should do the Weird Al of crypto and do like Creed higher, but then do like Bitcoin lyrics.
Well, what if we named the band Greed?
Greed. Yeah. All right, Drew. What are your thoughts? Is Creed overrated, underrated? And then I'm gonna ask one more band.
Completely underrated.
Okay, now next band, chat. I'm gonna ask you this: is Nickelback overrated or underrated? Are they hated as they should be, or are they overhated, not hated enough?
I think they're underrated.
Think so?
I feel like it's easy to dunk on Nickelback. I'm not a big fan of Photograph.
Who started it?
I think it was Photograph was played so often.
Look at this Photograph.
It kind of spawned from Photograph being played so often.
And then the people start chatting, but then he realized how many Nickelback songs have gone viral.
Yeah.
And he realized it is not easy to have songs go that viral.
Look at this photograph. How about you look at the mouse on your desk right now or your phone? Look at that thumbs up. Go ahead and hit that like button. We appreciate it. Now, Josh is going to jump into the charts
someone
here.
Goes just rated. Hey, I'll agree with that one. I think that's right. I think that's right here. They're perfectly rated as is. It's kind of like I look at Nickelback as who's the actor for Nicolas Cage? It's kind of like Nicolas Cage.
Creed and Nickelback are the same band. Bach is underrated. Classic is definitely underrated these days.
Yeah. So I'm going to say Nickelback is the Nicolas Cage of musicians here. But yeah, so let's look at some charts here, guys. Where are we heading? Are we going to go see some more upside? Is this the top of the market? Is the bull run over? Should you pack your bags? I'm going to tell you in just a second, and then we're going to get into altcoins because I want to get into altcoins and talk about what I'm buying and what I'm holding until 2025. Or if I'm holding anything. So first things first, guys, liquidations. This is that windshield wiper method. If you guys haven't seen this and you guys are new to the page, I'm a child, okay? I like color books. I do not want astrology and all of these arrows and these crazy... He's like, I'm spacing them out over here.
No, squiggly lines, letters.
I'm not a squiggly line man. I'm
time for that.
I'm coloring within the lines. I'm now in 5th grade. We are better than that. We're not finger painting, okay? So either way, guys, jokes aside, I love liquidation. I love following the flow of money in crypto because the one person I trust to make money is the market maker. So this dotted line right here, guys, let me get the tool out here. See this little dark line? That is Binance. All right. This is Binance. Chat's going to have fun with that one.
No,
this is
Deasley's
Binance.
Chrysler. It's worth reading real quick.
What is it?
Deasley's Chrysler. Read that one.
Whose DC's Chrysler was sold for Dune tickets and whip? There was a hacker that threatened to release Spotify information on how much Nickelback you listen to. Oh dear. Oh,
that's like Call of Duty chat logs right there.
Let's not talk about it. No, I wasn't allowed to listen to Nickelback. It was satanic when I was growing up.
Real story. Yeah. So Josh was, there's certain things he could, certain media he could and could not. So Nickelback was too far, huh?
Nickelback was Satan himself.
I did not know Nickelback crossed the line. I knew Harry Potter. That was too much, right? Harry Potter was satanic.
Yeah. Harry Potter. Yeah. Harry Potter. Anything with wizards, dude. Yeah.
Anything with wizards.
No magic. No spells.
Harry Potter. That's the devil's. So I picture Waterboy. I'm sorry. I know you. I know your mother's probably couldn't be further away from Bobby Boucher's mother.
Oh, completely. Yeah.
But does she tell you? How does she tell you? Why alligators are so ornery? Should she jump into that?
No, it wasn't at all like that. It was more like we got hit hard by 08, lost everything.
Okay. Was the Earth 2,000 years old?
You joined the church because they give you clothes and food, and it's a nice warm home setting, and you needed it during that time. It's like that's where we're at. But going back to the charts, I know that was a little off topic there. A little bit about me, and I love it. This is Binance, guys. This dark line is Binance, and they go back and forth like a windshield wiper. The bright colors here, guys, are longs. These are your bulls, and your blue colors are shorts, and those are your bears. And when you get too many shorts on the market, guys, Binance wipes them out. When you get too many longs on the market, Binance wipes them out. Now, right now, we're about at break even. That's why this line down here, there's pretty much no difference between how many longs are on the market versus shorts. So what does this tell us? Well, traditionally, in an uptrend in this market, guys, I've used this site for so long. It would mean that recent dip that we just had to the downside, where we touched 70K, we went down to 58,000, and now you see all of these bright lines. It's very simple, guys. The brighter the color, the more money that is sitting there. These act as support and resistance lines. That's it. It is bright colors. The brighter the color, the more money. So we came down to this liquidation zone, and we bounced off it obviously massively. This is, if you draw out a line, you're going to have resistance at this zone at this point. And now what you're starting to notice is there's more money opening up above Bitcoin's price. So right now I'm looking at the 7-day. What I want to do in the near term is go to the 12-hour. This is going to be today. So that's actually 1 month. Let's go to 12-hour. Let's hit run. What you'll notice, guys, is that line at 60K disappears. Why is that? Well, that's because there is more money expecting and more optimism and prices moving to the upside. So these bright yellow lines, you can see massive bright yellow lines. I do expect that 60K zone was turned into support. That is major support at this point. There might be some volatility back and forth between the 68K, but this is the next move. So if we break that 68K, 69K zone, it's almost directly to the upside on 70K. And if we break that all-time high, guys, the next spot after that's going to be about $73,000 and some upside. So there might be one more rejection, but we're in between two zones of significant pressure and accumulation. And if you're longing or shorting, obviously, if we're in a bull trend, it's going to favor bulls, but anything can happen on these ranges. So if I'm looking over the next few days, guys, it's really going to be Bitcoin to the upside, Bitcoin breaking out of that previous all-time high, because there's enough money now from them grabbing all of those longs. They wiped out all the bulls, guys. We were massively over leveraged. All of them got wiped out, and now there's enough money for these market makers to move it to the upside. This is also known as the max pain price. But that's really what we're looking at today, and simply of Bitcoin's price action. The major resistance is going to be that $69,000. You can see that there's a sell order right here coming in at $69,000, which of course, guys, is our all-time high. As soon as you break through that, it's going to be price discovery, and it's kind of off to the races. So,
all right, off to the races. And chat is going off to the races. Mike Clark, you got to put an apostrophe on that "your" with an E after the R. It's ironic that statement said "you're stupid," but you know that's kind of funny. Crypto Crank first adult scene was Titanic Shelter to the Max. We also had someone Power Rangers was too much because their parents was a little religious right there. I remember my first time seeing a adult scene with my parents. It was Interview with a Vampire, and there's a scene on a stage where there's a play, and it was just very uncomfortable. And it was the first time where your mom doesn't make you cover your eyes. Remember when you were watching stuff as a kid? My mom had me watch dark stuff, but
Dude, I was watching
cover your
Blade.
eyes.
Yeah,
I remember thinking, is she going to make me cover her eyes?
Maybe like this.
I'm
Be like
seeing
this.
areola. Yeah. You do this.
You're peeking through it.
Yeah. No, I'm not looking. I'm not looking. I'm not looking.
Oh my God, Mom, what's that? She's
All
like,
right, now we're going to talk about Epstein's Black Book, everybody. No. This is the Fed's Beige Book.
This is the other Fed book.
It's another Fed book, not the one we wanted. Here's the Beige Book and everything you need to know. Basically, they publish this 8 times a year. It's about every month and a half. It's been published for investors to review, and here are all the details. It's where they provide information about the course of the U.S. economy. But folks, I'm going to tell you just the persuasion techniques. That's why you like this channel. We're breaking down. We're reading between the lines. Jerome, read between. All right. Anyways, I'm sorry. I got a little off. Whoa. All right. Employment increased at a slight to modest pace in most regions. So we had many regions where it did not. Persuasion technique, they're not doing. What are the population centers? So, I mean, there's really not telling us anything. Most regions, but is this the type of thing where it's like, yeah, most counties are rural. So is this a good thing or a bad thing? So nice persuasion technique, just hiding the information while making us feel good. While the outlook for growth remains generally positive, those contacted said they expect stronger demand and less restrictive financial conditions over the next 6 to 12 months. Generally, pretty interesting word right there. Generally positive. So what's that, like 51%? Consumer spending, particularly on retail products, has declined in recent weeks. So bad news. Really, the persuasion techniques are being used when it's supposed to be something good. So here we have, something good. Let's see the persuasion technique. Wages have increased. Okay, further across the region, although several reports indicate it's a slower rate of increase. So really, this tells us nothing. Is it below or above inflation? Since they're not telling us, it lets us know, it's not matching inflation. But hey, it's increased further across the region, so it's all good. Here we have credit demand has remained stable or low. Credit quality has been generally healthy, despite a few reports of defaults. Okay, so what's a few? Aren't we talking about 350 million Americans? So few, 20 million? Well, what are we talking about here? Businesses struggled to pass on higher costs to their customers who were increasingly sensitive to price changes. Also not great. Looks like corporate profit's going to be down, so that's going to lead to firings and layoffs. And then ongoing shipping disruptions in the Red Sea and Panama Canal generally did not have a significant impact on businesses during the reporting period. So a lot of persuasion words and weaselly lawyery words, whereas they can then rely on, well, we said generally did not. We're like, well, the stats show that it did. Yeah, but generally speaking. Oh, well, wait a minute. No. This report clearly shows there is an impact. No. We said significant impact, so it's not significant. How do we determine a word like significant in the court of law? You can't, and it's just a way for lawyers to argue against each other and then bill you, and then basically nothing gets done.
These beige books, brown books, yellow books, red books, islands, Epstein, children, it gets weird quickly with books and feds and government officials. The one thing I never see them talk about, which is very interesting, I think it's just because they're all boomers, and this is seriously the most important metric that I never see outlined in these books, and it's the fact that these articles never highlight telephones or cell phones or iPads or iPhones or internet. Like in 2008, when these financial markets collapsed, guys, like it was still very scarce to see somebody with an iPod or an iPad. Like you're still walking around with your iPod shuffles. You know, like you don't have access to internet in the same way. Yes, you had computers and everything, but the amount of information that flows so quickly in today's day and age is why I think the conversations of these macro impacts like the Red Sea and the Panama Canal matter. They'll go, well, we don't know the actual effect, but the whole world understands that if the oil is disrupted in the Strait of Hormuz or the Strait of Malacca, it's like we are going to see some devastation in terms of energy costs, which will flow over into this. I honestly, a big part of this in book, maybe this is just the Discover Crypto book, the part of the playbook that no one talks about, I think, is the disruption that technology has had in the terms of valuations on these markets. This is why they are wrong on NVIDIA. It's why they are wrong on tech stocks. It's why they've been wrong about Bitcoin and crypto for the last 10 years. I'm very curious to see how that works through. And I think it's a perfect thumbnail and title of today's stream to say, you know, you brought this up many, many times. When banks collapse and have issues, it's just traditional finance. And all that money, we're seeing this giant wealth transfer of $86 trillion from boomers to, of course, the millennials and this new class. They're going to be investing in completely new assets.
You guys ready to feel bullish? We've had the same money for 5,000 years. Gold was the money for 5,000 years. And I think Bitcoin will be the money for the next 5,000 years. You happen to be born during the precipice of the most dramatic changeover in monetary history. You're not bullish enough. Hit that like button, everybody.
Yeah, like, it's me
God, that almost gave me chills.
That gave me chills because it just made me think. I was like, all his pictures like me and you on like a Nordic ship, like sailing to a village, and like we're gonna plunger that.
Yeah, we gotta have Drew on board.
No
though.
one's doing that.
We gotta have Drew on board. If I'm a conquistador and I don't have Drew, I'm not doing it right.
Drew is definitely like the leader in the Viking days with his voice, dude. Like just like,
yes. BJ's our weird alchemist. BJ's our weird alchemist. He thinks he can turn lead into gold, and we just kind of humor him. Like, all right, go hang out.
He would straight up be the wizard that's like catapulting the trebuchets, like flaming.
Don't
boulders.
say wizard.
Oh yeah,
your mom.
Yeah.
Hey, sorry, mother. Sorry.
I gotta go.
Well, that must be nice. You know. Anyways, all right. Let's see here. Nickelback played in Puerto Rico, and then they started throwing things at him. Chad got hit with a pickle. Y'all want to rock or go home? Then a pickle was incoming. Oh man, that's why y'all do Chad like that.
And by the way, I have to say, because my parents watch this, I love my parents. They're awesome. That was from like a decade ago. It's a fun time. It's fun chats. Making sure we got you out there.
All right. Now more crypto. We have a little crypto victory. Hey, crypto dollars helped lift U.S. politicians to victory in a congressional primary. Campaign giving from industry sources factored heavily in several races, one in particular here. So political action committees, they committed money in Texas, North Carolina, and Alabama. The bulk of the giving went to keep Katie Porter in her bid for a California, to tank Katie Porter in her bid for a California Senate seat. They spent a lot of campaign spending from crypto industry. They hit pay dirt on Super Tuesday when it looks like it ended up working, everybody. So this is always good. They put special attention on ensuring Katie Porter failed to secure a seat based on fears that she would emulate Elizabeth Warren as a digital asset antagonist. In their top two primary results, it showed that she came in a distant third, which not only leaves a progressive out of the running for Senate, but out of a job next year in the House of Representatives.
It's so sad. Katie Porter had so much potential, and then she just had to choose anti-crypto. Like that's a death sentence at that point. It's like, this is someone that stood up like Elizabeth Warren, guys. Elizabeth Warren used to be the GOAT. I used to be like, in 2020, this is the person fighting against Janet Yellen. And then you realize that politics are all just a political game, and she was probably paid just to do that.
I was going to pop out like a mole, like right here, and be like, pretend to be a banker and give you like a $20 bill, but I'm not going to pop out of the desk.
We got to say no to these big banks. And then you build this entire audience, and then she's like this behind the pocket. She's like, oh, Jamie Dimon, like, take me out to dinner. She's drooling over him, and 3 years later.
Bob from accounting. BJ is the wizard who could. LOL. Good stuff there. He'll like that one. Let's see. Bitcoin probably pumping 6 days with its upgrade 10K. Oh, you said the King crypto. I just assume you mean Bitcoin. What's the King crypto going to 10K? I mean, ETH? I don't know what you mean by King crypto. But some say the King meme coin is MAGA, everybody. Donald Trump's crypto portfolio soars to $7.5 million, fueled by Trump. Fun fact, I don't know if this article is going to share it. They gave him $7,000 worth And it just kept going up and up and up.
That's
And they know his
crazy.
address because of his NFT releases. It's public knowledge.
Well, no worries. The New York court they'll say that's worth only $75. So depending on who you're selling to.
No, he'll get a loan in it, and then they'll like have a snapshot of a date, and then a judge will say, "Well, the price is this."
It's
Why'd
actually
you
only
say
$7,000.
Yeah. You said ETH was 3,500 and ETH is 8K, so we got to lock you up here. The growth in his portfolio is attributed to the value of ETH and the value of MAGA, aka the Trump coins that are contributed to his wallet. 10 days ago, the worth of his token stood at $3 million, and now it is $4.6 million. That's not bad for 10 days. So good job right there, team. I don't have any, but the holders. I know we have a lot of holders in chat. They heard it in the basement. They're just printing God candles. Well, Trump has almost 1 million. Oh my God! Not only does he have Trump, he has almost 1 million baby Trump tokens, valued at 93,000, and a different Trump worth 18,000. So it looks like other teams are copying MAGA. He doesn't have any Trepe. Well, it's a Solana wallet. So what's actually funny about Trepe, they'll send it to Melania because she did the Solana NFT. I don't know if Solana or if her NFT wallet is public knowledge, though.
I don't know either.
That'd be the move for that team.
Years, yeah.
Well, according to CoinGecko, looks like the Trump on Radium has just been crushing there. So include the Uniswap one as well. So, hey, I know we have some MAGA holders in the chat. Good job, guys. So,
it's pulling back,
pulling back.
Yeah, it's pulling back a little bit.
All right, let's look at it, folks. So first talked about it on ATB at 50 cents. Me and Blood were like, dude, it's probably a good buy, sell in like October in anticipation of November election. Me nor him bought it. We did the same thing with the Trump NFTs. We talked about it because we do breaking stories on ATB. Maybe someone could put a ATB link in the chat real quick. It's a show we do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We have crypto experts and we talk about the top 3 stories. The Trump NFT launch, we covered it, didn't buy any. The MAGA meme coin pump, we covered it, didn't buy any. Holy crap, it is $6 right now. Yeah. Wow, you were not kidding, Drew. That thing was $12. It wicked up to $12 there. But folks, it was a lot cheaper.
Shake goes, I FOMO'd in at $8.81.
Oh,
Drew, weren't you talking about it at like pennies?
Yeah, well, it was like 20 cents. But
Jake, what happened?
All right, so Drew was talking about it around these levels. I saw it around 50 cents. So I saw the run up there. So if anyone just copy traded that,
guys,
or
we're
just
here.
listen.
Why are we in crypto? To make money,
to change your lives.
It is so obvious that like those tokens are going to pump towards elections. It's kind of like it's memes, it's Twitter, it's Reddit. You guys know where this is heading. So shout out to everybody there. Make sure you take profits because let's be real. If he loses, what do you think happens to that token?
Lee Brewin, stupid. Why buy S coins, Trump S coins? It's ridiculous. Lee, people buy it because they pump harder. People buy it because the communities are a little bit more fervent and the gains are a little bit stronger. And so it's just people trying to give financial freedom to their family, to themselves, maybe fix that bathroom, pay for that veterinary bill.
Buy tanks.
Yeah, we have the prepper community. I saw a prepper. I think Bob was throwing out some prepper comments. We got the best prepper in the biz. Drew, you are the best prepper in all of crypto. I'll go ahead and say that. I don't know if you should lean into that branding wise, but no one is better at prep knowledge than you. How does that make you feel?
Well, I mean, a little uncomfortable because then everyone's going to be on my lawn when it happens. So,
like Dwight, imagine your final candle being snuffed out. You're banging at my door. Jim, you'll be a court jester. Meredith, you'll be okay. All right. Nayib Bukele. Let's talk about Nayib here. This is the El Salvadorian president here.
Altcoins.
He can't help laughing, ha, 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 as a Bitcoin critic who slammed adoption in El Salvador gets indicted in a bribery case. And it wasn't Gold Bar Menendez, the New Jersey senator. So this El Salvador's Bitcoin president. Oh, wait. Oh, my God. It was Bob Menendez. Bob Menendez, Gold Bar Menendez. He took gold bars from Egypt. He's now been charged. This development comes on top of the senator's existing bribery charges. So he has more charges. Fun fact, Bob Menendez is still a senator. I know. It sounds crazy, right? You think they'd censor him, ask him to step down, force him to resign. They have not kicked him out. And he's not a state senator. He's a U.S. senator. Breaking news, folks. So I just thought that was cool. His little victory lap. Josh, you want to talk about this breaking news? Hit the like if you like the breaking news.
We're about to hit 500 likes, so I'm going to start talking about these guys, but make sure we get to 500 likes. We're at 473, 1,300 beautiful people watching. Here's some alpha for you guys. So I dropped a video already last night on this. We've been talking about it for a few weeks. If you follow me on TikTok or Twitter, we've been talking about AI and DeepIn for a minute. We have massive threads, etc. You guys know what's up. The biggest summits, okay, of 2024 for AI is in less than 2 weeks. It is going to be hosted by NVIDIA. This is the first physical GTC conference that they will have in 5 years. I think it was 2019, maybe 2020 that was last. So about 5 years, we will say that. Let me make this point clear. 300,000 physical and virtual attendees will be joining this. And of course, NVIDIA's founder and CEO Jensen is scheduled to deliver a keynote at the SAP Center starting at 1 p.m. Pacific time on Monday, March 18th. This is March, I think, 16th through the 20th or something is the whole convention. But he is speaking, maybe it is the 18th. I don't know the exact dates. What matters about this, guys, is the conference will feature over 900 sessions and host more than 300 exhibitors. They will spotlight how various organizations employ NVIDIA platforms to facilitate significant breakthroughs across industries. This is the AI hype. This is something, if you guys want to make trades, I'm not touching render right now. It's in price discovery at this point. You guys missed it. We call it at $4. I think everybody else has been calling it since $1, $2. We've talked about this for a long time. But AI is going to heat up until this crypto market movement. So if you want to know what altcoins are going to move over the coming weeks, render's leading this entire sector right now. Check out the hourly. You have AI network, like all these AI tokens are pumping. Okay, they are all pumping massively. So the trick I've taught you guys, I'm looking to find the products that are going to be attending. There was a product that was just fudded massively by Zach XBT on Twitter, and it is down actually quite. It's about to $1.71. It dropped by 80% last night, but they're actually attending the GTC conference. There was a FUD. It ended up being, it was literally just FUD. Did they do something wrong with the team? Probably, definitely. I would definitely say so. But these project guys, you guys know about OPSEC because we called it literally at 49 cents here on the channel. Went up to about $2.50. This is going to be attending the conference. They are partnered and followed by NVIDIA's GTC. They are sponsoring the event. Another one that I think is going to move is seriously Clore right here, up 22%. Oh my gosh, it's moving, baby. Let's freaking go. This is another direct competitor of Render. And of course, you can see a massive cup and handle is forming right here. And it's starting to also enter price discovery. Much lower market cap, direct competitor for distributed GPU services. AI is going to move. But I am here to warn you guys. If you're not in the AI narrative, you have now 11 days or so. My guess is because with Render, in the video I dropped last night, you need to go watch the special announcement on why it's so bullish for this event. But I do believe this event can end up being a buy the rumor, sell the news. So AI might be a leading factor in this next 2 weeks. It's getting a second boost because of these announcements. And I'd be paying attention very close to it as NVIDIA is about to become the most, I think the largest company in the world. They're at number 3 right now.
All right. And, all right. So the top AI project, arguably Render. What's the other project that comes into discussion?
Fetch?
Fetch,
Ajax.
Render, Ajax. Ajax. What chain is Ajax on?
Right here, boom. Cardano. Which Grayscale was like, yo, we don't like that Cardano. We are not putting it in our fund.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a second. I want to just share a little alpha, everybody. We talk about the infrastructure of AI. What does DZ always say? Compute, storage, communications, compute, storage, communications. First to say it, last to say it. Compute, storage, communications. All right, so Cardano is home to one of the top 2 or 3 projects, AGIX. Cardano has infrastructure plays that no one talks about, no one's ever mentioning, very, very low market caps. So if AGIX does incredible things on Cardano, I think it's very possible with Haskell, Plutus. I would look at some of these opportunities, folks, and I'll share some of these market caps. If you go to taptools.io, you'll see these are all I know I've talked about this website before, Cardano native tokens. These are all assets you buy with ADA, with the ADA wallet. And these prices are not in dollars. These prices are against Cardano. So you see, if you bought some AGIX with your Cardano, you have gained 50% in the last week of Cardano. So if you put in 100 ADA, you now have 150 ADA, and Cardano is a higher price. So you're up even more. It's incredible, folks. Number one, you're going to see after the AI, the first D-Pen play, if you don't include the telecoms play here, IAG, Iagon. We've had the team on the channel. We've talked to them ourselves. You're up 13% against Cardano. Cardano's been doing good. You're up 7% on the week. 1% deviation on the 24-hour. And then the next one, the last one I'll do, Compute Play, NTX. Folks, you're all up in ADA, and that's really the name of the game. And I shared Kopi on Twitter. Doing pretty good right there. Shared about 4 or 5 days ago. So we're doing good on Kopi. But yeah, the name of the game, don't lose your Bitcoin. Don't lose your Cardano. Don't lose the underlying assets. Because if your meme coin goes up 25% and you bought it with Solana, but Solana's up 50%. You're down, folks. You are down. You may be up in fiat, but you're down in Solana. And so that's why we kind of emphasize the importance of the underlying assets right there. I don't know. What were you going to say? You're about to jump in on the grayscale thing I was looking for. Oh, no. One quick thing about Gensler. Gensler asked point blank, is ETH a security? He does Weasley lawyery, Goldman Gary type answers. If you don't know, Gary Gensler came from Goldman Sachs. I'm just going to skip down to his quotes here. So again, he wouldn't answer the question, but he metaphorically compared the market volatility to a roller coaster. I talk about persuasion techniques. Number 1 persuasion technique, fear. Number 2 persuasion technique, visualization. He's employing both here. Gensler's smart, y'all. Don't undermine or don't underestimate Gensler. He's using some pretty good persuasion techniques. This is a highly speculative asset class, so good persuasion there. He further elaborates. One could just look at the volatility of Bitcoin in the last few days and look, I grew up loving roller coasters. Maybe in my adult years, I don't ride them as much, but you should really be conscious as the investing public that this is a bit of a roller coaster ride on these volatile assets. So yeah, he's just planting, Bitcoin's a roller coaster and I'm going to go down. What's the number 1 thing you do on a roller coaster? You go click, clickety clack, clickety clack, clickety clack. And then it's a huge move to the downside. No, Bitcoin's up and to the right only. You just got to zoom out enough. So what sucks is he's going to lead a lot of people to the stock market, a lot of people to gold, precious metals, and they should just be buying Bitcoin.
Wouldn't it be nice to have him stepping in and talking to the American public about why banks are $700 billion underwater from mortgage-backed securities?
No, I want him to do videos on staking. No, not stakes. I'm talking about staking yield. I want him to do that. That's what I prefer.
That's what we get.
Yeah, that's a better use of my money. That is a better use of my money, your money. They're spending our money on this crap. What else you got? I'm going off the rails
we got
here.
like 1 or 2 more articles here, but I'm going to say this, guys. We have 1,300 people watching now. And we haven't hit 600 likes in a minute in the life. If you guys hit 600 likes, I will share one more narrative that you need to catch because I do have some alpha right now that I want to share. But if you guys can't hit 600 likes, we're going to have to share that with the Discord.
There is a serious rumor. Very, very crazy rumor. I don't know if I believe it, though. Michael Saylor might buy Ethereum. This is off a little rumor here. They approached MicroStrategy for comment, but they have not received a response at the time of publication here. So where did this come from? All right, so their Bitcoin holdings are way up here, but let's see here. They're mulling it. Sources. So we got anonymous sources, folks. So, I mean, this is not the best credible source of information here, but I mean, I don't know. It's just more of an interesting thought experiment. Will Michael Saylor buy ETH? What's your hot take here?
My hot take is the announcement MicroStrategy made, which was that they're turning into a Bitcoin development company. So the anonymous sources that they might have heard through things that like smart contracts, DeFi, maybe I'm sure I wouldn't doubt that someone heard something about something being built, but I'm going to imagine it's actually integration of Bitcoin ecosystems as a sidechain or something that builds and develops that network.
I have a wrinkle to that. Okay. What if part of his services is wrapped Bitcoin on the EVM, aka Bitcoin that lives on the Ethereum blockchain?
Yeah, sorry. So I think that is part of the case. He's going to make a protocol or invest in protocols that allow access to integrate ETH and other cryptos into Bitcoin's ecosystem. Because his thing, I think this is where Bitcoin maxis will allow to like touch altcoin, is if they're doing it for the good of Bitcoin's network. That is their pitch. Oh, well, okay. Even though we're ERC20 wrapped, we actually want to onboard Ethereum users because Ethereum's trash. Bitcoin is, obviously king. That's kind of their play here. And with that comes, I will hit it. We're hitting, actually, no, we're not at 600 likes yet. I can't share it. Yet.
All right. Well, speaking of ETH forecast for ETH 5K by the end of the year. I would have said that's a pretty good model 4 months ago. Now I feel like that's a little bearish.
I think FUD.
Yeah, the 5K does feel like FUD. Drew, what is your ETH target? What is your ETH high for this year?
10K.
You think you can hit 10K?
I do.
I'm not that bullish. Are you that bullish, Josh?
This year?
This year, not 2025.
Look, we have to be, this is where, it's not necessarily humiliation, we're being humbled. We were humbled by these, I was humbled by these markets. I didn't think Ethereum was going to break 3,200 by Bitcoin halving. We're now probably going to see all-time highs by Bitcoin halving. So I have to say, 10K is that psychological number. I don't know if we break it, but is Ethereum going to push it towards that by the end of the year? I think it's very possible if we break all-time highs on Bitcoin and we just go into price discovery.
JF Space Native, I don't want to go to work today. You know what, man? I think you got to do it, though, because you know what? You don't own the land. If you don't pay property taxes, the government will seize your land. So, man, we got to pay the overlords with their monopoly on violence. And if you want to escape that rat race, though, keep watching as much of this content.
I don't want to
keep
feeding this bull porn, so to speak, but I'm going to say this here now, too. Like, I think everybody knows and understands I'm prepared to sell like 90% of my positions by the Bitcoin halving because I think it's going to be a massive buy the rumor, sell the news event. That's
You're
not
prepared
bearish.
to? Are you going to? Or don't pull a Halpern.
No, it is. If we break all-time highs and we go into this price discovery, I expect we go from media attention to optimistic and belief. And it's every bull run this happens. It's like 2 weeks. You go from like $50,000 to $70,000 Bitcoin, right? We can go in 2 weeks from $70,000 Bitcoin to 100K. Like the shift in momentum to these markets becomes so hyped up. That's why I'm ready to prepare and risk adjust my portfolio. There's things that could happen that we are just not aware of within the next month.
All right,
I know that sounds crazy, but
10K, 6K, 20K, 12K, 8K, 7,500, 6 to 8K. I'm in the 6 to 8, Shanaka. Me and Shanaka on the same page right there. All right, let's see here. Quick ETH, a little bit more ETH news. Denkun upgrade is 6 days away. It's going to be March 13th, everybody. Let me double check. Yeah, March 13th. So last time we had a major upgrade, I think it was Chapella. Huge green candle streak, folks. So just be careful on a buy the rumor, sell the news 6 days from now. You might have 1 or 2 days of capitulation, and then it could just be another 10 green candles. ETH to hit all-time high soon, says an analyst. I would not be surprised because often a Bitcoin pump is followed by an ETH pump 30 days later, 14 days later. So do not be surprised if we see ETH ripping faces soon. Cardano founder, we said we're going to talk about this later. Cardano founder reacting to not being listed on the Grayscale fund. So he reacts to the exclusion. Here he is. He's pissed. You can't tell, but he has the Arthur fist clenched right now, just below frame. Let's see. Grayscale has recently announced its first actively managed fund, the Dynamic Income Fund, which allows users to stake cryptocurrencies to earn income. So we'll have Aptos, TIA. Let's see. A Coinbase staked Ethereum, Cosmos, Near, Osmo, Dot, Say, and Solana. And Cardano, despite widespread recognition, growing ecosystem absent from the list, he expresses disappointment and disbelief. As our first, so here they're talking about it. No, just the gift there. That's good. That's good right there. I like it. So he just replies with a little casual gift right there. No ADA, he queried, posting his favorite meme, a man drenched in rain, in response to an article from the new offering. So Grayscale, get it together. I would market buy some on Robinhood if you were to add Cardano. Just saying from a random Cardano supporter. I would appreciate a little love there. Pantera Capital is going to acquire Solana held by FTX, and they're going to buy it for $45, I want to say. Where do they have? Okay, no, $60. You say, how the heck can they buy Solana at $60? That doesn't make any sense. But then you scroll and you'll see they can't sell it for a while, or maybe it's at the top of this article. I was reading a different article here. So yeah, they're going to have to hold this for years, 30-day. Okay, so vesting as long as 4 years right there. So remember we were saying FTX has all this Solana. Most of the Solana they couldn't sell.
Yeah.
Grayscale is going to be able to buy that at a discount. I feel like I sure as heck would. Hey, Solana, you can't sell to 2026 and that you can't sell to 2028. I buy that all day for $70. I'll pay an extra $10. Send me some.
I wanted to touch on a couple of these questions because people are asking about like my exit strategy here, and I want to clarify just so they get to know us a little bit. So guys, like first and foremost, like I think the term exit strategy is a little rough in crypto because I believe such in the long term of this isn't like it's taking profits. This is my mentality behind this. So this isn't for everybody. But
this isn't the Afghan.
Have you taken a day off this entire bear market?
This isn't the Afghan exit strategy.
Yeah. No.
Well, I do like a Costco Sundays on sometimes where
we're gonna deploy and throw some babies over some barbed wire. No, it's not like that. Isn't that what you were talking about?
No, I was just talking about like leaving all our military equipment. No, we left our military equipment there, like a bad withdrawal.
Or the video? You remember that video? No. Okay, too far. I guess I went too far. There's a video of that. Yeah. Anyways, moving back to the Bitcoin exit strategy, guys. Here, we've been buying this entire bear market, and the perspective isn't like, oh, Josh, if Bitcoin goes to 100K and has a 30% dip, that's what I want. That's when I would rebuy. My thoughts and the thoughts that should be in this market is if Bitcoin goes to 100K. Bitcoin's a large position in my portfolio right now. But what does that mean for altcoins? If Bitcoin goes to 100K, Bitcoin's only going to be like 10% of my portfolio at that position because altcoins, Ethereum's going to be pushing 7, 8K. Altcoins are going to be pushing 4, 5, 6, 7, 800Xs. This is that blow off top mentality where like, I'm not trying to grab, what was the, Crypto Banter said this best. He said like the bull market is steps, right? But the bear market's an elevator on the way down.
Yeah.
I do not want to be in the elevator when it goes down. Right, that's my envision here.
Okay,
so I want
the
to
old leave the
up.
last 10% for the next guy strategy.
Yeah, and then of course, like if once we get that pullback, this is that trade. This is what I did on January 10th. Now I was wrong about the postponement, but I still took it out as the buy the rumor, sell the news event. Still had that at capital. It came down, and then I bought back in and accumulated more of those bags. But at that range, guys, I'm hoping if Bitcoin's at 100K. I'm seriously going to be pulling out money to go hopefully invest into real estate. I mean, that's a whole nother level.
Can we scroll to the most recent chat? 600 likes have been hit, everybody. Very, very good job. I'll share a little degen play. All right, so I'm going to update a Arrow strategy right here. Arrow is down again. And I started wondering, okay, some of this just is not making sense to me. We got in a $30 million market cap, and I realized, after the pullback, we're still at 140. And I hit market cap. They had a token issuance right there. You can see the huge spike in the market value right there. So you can almost like teleport all this down that far, and then you'll kind of see. So just a little interesting tidbit. That being said, I'm probably going to do half TIA, half Arrow. I'll probably buy TIA today, Arrow tomorrow. Oh God, I don't even want to say I'm gonna buy Arrow tomorrow because now I'm like manifesting a green candle. Heck, I'm just going to do it. I'm buying Arrow tomorrow. I'm buying TIA today. So
this is a great video idea we should work on. Like 3 different take profit strategies.
All right. So my exit strategy is based mostly off a 4-year cycle, not price targets. So I'm not going off price targets. I'm going off just fundamental supply and demand economics. Worked good for me last cycle. Was able to put a significant down payment on my home. And so that's my move right there.
It depends on, I think, like I recommend reading The Intelligent Investor by Benjamin Graham because guys, everybody's at a different age with different debts, with different risks, with different factors, with different, loved ones in their life, different responsibilities. Everyone on this planet's going to have a different exit strategy. I think doing a video on that would be awesome. But the video, the altcoin I'm going to share, guys, really quick before DZ, do you have another question you want to answer real quick?
No. We should probably wrap it up after that. This is going to be the best part though, folks. Stick around for this.
Yeah. So guys, the alpha I have for you, I know it's kind of like kicking a dead horse, but it's Bitcoin layer 2s. There's another big breakthrough announcement yesterday, about 18 hours ago. You guys are mentioning it in chat with OrdiSwap. So my theory is Michael Saylor is going to come in with these Bitcoin layer 2s, development, side chains, whatever, and increase this liquidity.
Someone better than a Jack Mallers going to help the Bitcoin ecosystem.
And bring money with, right? Like have money to back it and money to bring it. And one of those projects is THORChain. So this Friday, I'm going to be attending this Twitter space, probably in the car ride on our way down to Orlando, Florida. But ultimately tomorrow, guys, THORChain, which is a $1 billion company. Again, this is a $1 billion altcoin, one of the top movers today, has 543 million in volume, almost worth $2 billion at this point, is going to be having a Twitter space with this tiny product known as OrdiSwap to talk about Bitcoin DeFi and cross-chain liquidity. This is the topic. The other alpha, if you're in the Discord or our Telegrams and everything, guys, make sure you go hop in there. There's a lot of products that are going to be launching with fair value launches that we're getting into. This is the narrative. I can't say who it is. I can't say what it is, but all I can say is that there is a Bitcoin OG that is a part of projects launching on top of Bitcoin natively. And when I see these type of names starting to build on top of this, money I know is going to follow. And that's what I expect. So Bitcoin layer 2s and DeFi, I think are going to be huge. I'm excited for this Twitter space tomorrow because this is probably the biggest Twitter space we all have yet to see on Bitcoin DeFi.
All right. Someone in the chat is letting us know, well, this is weird. Maybe they're correct. They're saying there was no token issuance. Token tracking projects. We're reporting market cap wrong. Well, token tracking projects, like CoinMarketCap is owned by Binance. I wouldn't consider CoinMarketCap a token tracking project. I would just say that's kind of what they do. But what's weird is when you go to Aerodrome and you're on CoinMarketCap and then you hit market cap, that's weird. So maybe that person's right. So interesting tidbit right there. So I'll go and say, hey, that could definitely be the case. Hey, you give me new information, I'm willing to pivot. I have strong opinions, loosely held, and that's how you should feel about your crypto bags as well. You should have strong conviction, loosely held. Someone quoted Alex Becker, we're all in it together until we're not. And like I always say, you don't want to be looking for a chair when the music stops. So folks, go ahead, hit that like button. The music is stopping, or it's actually about to start.
Ooh.
We'll see you tomorrow morning.
That was a good way to end it.